Okay, this is Darkstar. I'm going to attempt to record my entire 737 experience because it's not going very well, and maybe some people can give me some feedback or tips. Uh, so we'll see how it goes. So we're flying DTTA to EDDB flight because all my flights in the US got canceled when I failed one of those missions. So we'll see how this goes. This says 4 hours left. I don't know what that really means. I'd like to do some of these longer ones, but it's such a waste. Anyway, here we go. So we're going to select this mission now. I'm in employee mode because I don't have my 737 yet. Wreck someone else's first. Okay, so let's see what we got here. So we have a departure procedure and an ILS 24 approach via direct. We might change that in the FMS. So it's currently IFR. I'm going to try to change it to VFR just so we have less of that to deal with. I've tried both ways. I have issues either way. And I don't really think filing in here does anything, but we'll give it a shot. We're at flight level 350 according to the plan, and we'll send to avionics when we get into the mission. Now, I do have a binding set up so I can add fuel. I don't know if we'll need it, but I will use that if I need to. I don't let it run out of fuel. Okay, so fly. A little bit stuttery. I always get a little bit of stutter at some views of the airport. Turn the game sound up just a hair.
Great. He's part of a celebrity's entourage, probably joining her for an event.
Oh, it's going to the wrong place anyway.
To make this flight a great experience. Have a great flight.
Okay, where is our free flight?
Captain, we're ready to board passengers. Waiting for your instructions.
Okay, so I'm taking notes over here while we go. So, board passengers.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er. Could you please get the passengers on board?
And then we should
Boeing
need to do
Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er, the jetway is going to be connected.
And then it should be baggage. That's where I'm getting a lot of stutter right now. It'll smooth out in a minute. I'm guessing it's having to stream gigabytes of texture and model data. Okay, here we go. Baggage.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er. Could you please send the baggage?
Then catering.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er baggage is on the way.
Catering.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er. Could you please send the catering truck?
Now, do I request IFR clearance now? Or do I need to wait? I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and request it now.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er ready to copy IFR clearance to Schoenfeld.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er29er is cleared to Schoenfeld Airport via the Tango Oscar Bravo India 2 Delta departure. Expect runway 29er. Maintain FLT 50. Departure frequency is
Boarding
125.
complete, Captain.
15 squawk 2736.
Okay, boarding completed. There's a VIP flight, so not a full set of passengers. Now we have to wait for baggage to report, I believe. We will acknowledge our RFR clearance before
Cleared
they
to Schoenfeld via the Tango Oscar Bravo India 2
upset with
Delta
us.
departure runway 29er, maintain FL tree 50. Departure frequency is 125. 15 squawk 27 tree 6 Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er read back correct. Contact ground on 121. 9er, good day.
So, I don't think these are done yet. I didn't hear the baggage report, but he's pulling away. Hopefully we'll get that soon. And then catering, I think, needs to finish. Okay. Now,
Luggage loading now completed.
there we go. Now, I don't think catering reports in. I haven't seen a catering report in several attempts. I'll hit control space. And then, I don't know why this pops up here. That seems like a bug to me, but I think we do that later. And I think you have to do it manually. I don't remember for sure. Okay, so then we request pushback.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er requesting pushback.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er pushback. Request accepted.
This seems out of order to me, but I'm not sure. I would think you would request taxi clearance first and then get a pushback.
Hi, Captain. Tow bar in place.
Okay, so now I'm going to bring up my comms menu here. We can either steer it or request it to stop. And you definitely need to give it time to stop.
You're cleared to start engines.
Now we were automatically cleared to start engines somehow. It almost pushed me into a building the other day. Because it takes a while to stop when you request it. So do we just drive through the catering truck or?
Pushback complete. Cleared to set brakes, Captain.
Okay, set the brakes. Wait. Okay. So I didn't have to request it to stop that time. Okay, now request taxi clearance.
Carthage ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er with Sierra ready to taxi IFR.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er taxi to and hold short of runway 29er via taxiway Charlie Alpha cross runway 19er Alpha. Contact tower on 118. 1 when ready.
1181.
Taxiing hold short runway 29er via taxiway Charlie Alpha cross runway 19er Alpha Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er.
So our engines are not yet running. We do not have permission to start engines yet. Or did we get clearance to start engines? I forgot to refile the VFR flight plan, but that's okay. We'll go with this. I think it resets it also. Yeah, the IFR. You have to change it after you load into the mission. leave it IFR though, I guess. Maybe I'll skip the flight and see how that goes. Puts you in a... I've often had it put me in bad positions when I skip the flight, but I don't know. I know how to fly the plane. I can barely take off. What I have the most trouble with is approach, and descent and approach. Got a fuel light on here. Where is our fuel? 24,000 pounds of fuel? I don't know. So, how do we get our clearance to start the engines? I got it to do it the other day. Let's just try Control E. See, I think we turn that up. And we turn this one up. We'll need to enter our ILS frequencies here at some point. And we'll need to deal with this. Start valve open, oil pressure low. Is it going to start? See if my throttle's actually working. Speed brake. Like, are we going to get engines or not? This is the kind of BS I deal with in this. I don't know if it's specific to career mode or what. This career definitely needs issue. Okay, there's one engine coming online finally. Let's go flaps 5, 125. Let's go ahead and start dialing some things in here while we're waiting. We want flight director on both sides. We want this to be probably around 150. And then our heading we'll set it once we get on the runway. Alright, let's work on some of this. So okay, so first I go to legs. And then page 1 of 7. And you can either fly disconnects or you can click this button next to the route and then click the one that's a disconnect and it'll, like, I don't know, delete that one or copy up or however you want to think about it. So we're gonna hold at KLF if we miss it. So that I believe this is the missed approach. Runway 24 left. So we're right now it's got entering via KTG. I remember that one. And then these are the other waypoints to get you onto the ILS. Okay. Okay, so let's execute that. And then go to init-ref. And then, I don't know if this is accurate, but you can click this, it'll put a value down here, and then click it again to enter it as your zero fuel weight. This might be wrong. I don't know how wrong it is, but it seems pretty close to, I guess, this estimated takeoff weight. It's a little higher, probably safer than being too low. Reserves, I've heard just put 6 in, and cost index, some people put 100. I'm gonna do 100 this time. I don't know. I think it's like this is gonna fly at 100% of the speed you can, which is gonna cost the most it possibly can. If you need a more economical flight, I think you can dial this down to like 90 or 80. It'll fly a little slower, but it'll cost you a little less in fuel and stuff. And then altitude, 350. I think you can also enter like 35000 and enter it. It'll do the same thing. This I haven't filled out. I don't know what that is. I don't think we do anything here. Flaps. We're gonna do 5 for takeoff. It's gonna calculate our V speeds, so we can just copy and copy and copy. I don't know if I need to do anything here. Oh, center of gravity, 28. Okay, so that gives you your trim of 4.25. So now we can go here and dial our trim. Somewhere in there, maybe. Okay. Execute. By flaps, populate. Okay. And then on the autopilot panel, and it, well, we need to do some of this. I think we get closer. I don't want to arm the auto throttle until I'm ready to take off. Dialing cruise altitude. Okay, we'll come back and do those. I think you're supposed to set this to your V2 plus 10, so that would be 151. That's my understanding. Oh, and then, wait, where's that one? Approach. Stay here then and go approach. Our departure first is runway 29 selected. I think that transition I guess we'll just leave it that. Route 1, route, runway 29, takeoff we already did. I don't know if we need to fill in takeoff weight. Gross weight, 133, I don't know, do 132 maybe, and put it there. That gave us new V speeds, slightly lower because I guess this is lower. We already do all these. Position, we are at alpha. I think that just gives you something to compare with. I don't know. go into approach. So if our weight was 133 on approach, and I think it should be less. It's weird that it's like 100 pounds less than our estimated takeoff weight. Like what? Well, let's just say it was 123. We put that there, then we're going to get these speeds per flap. So I think you want to be at 15 degrees flaps before you hit 136 knots, and so on and so forth. And this, then you take this one and you click on this one, and it's going to enter 140, 126 down here. And you paste it into this one, and then that's your approach. And you've got, I don't know what this means. Like, why does it have such a high altitude for this airport? Do I need to enter a correct altitude here? It's just, it's one problem is, well, the descents don't work right for me. So I don't know, maybe I need to do, maybe I should put something in here. I just don't know what this actually means. And I haven't seen anyone else, I haven't seen any videos where anyone's had to change it. So, wrong airport. 24L, right? 24L. So it should be 139. Should I put in 139 here? Well, I didn't do anything. I've had it compute this as being too low before, and then my VREF speeds were so low it was stalling even with 40 degrees flaps. It was going like way lower than this, and the plane just basically wouldn't fly. But now we have a higher value of this, so let's copy and paste that. And then, oh, execute didn't come up. But I think that's how you set your approach. Oh, and the other thing we can do here is we can make sure we're 109.50 and our course is 244. Okay, 109. 10950 activate. 10950 activate. Our ILS is dialed in, and that course again was 244, so we want to put that in here. 244. No views for our co-pilot, huh? I think in real life they would dial in the course for having to come back to the same airport first. You put in your takeoff runway course. I don't know the details for sure. That would make sense to me. Okay, now I think except for the final setup of the autopilot here, we're ready to taxi. For taxi, I like to bring up the map. Click this little icon so I get my ground speed here, and then I can. So we're going to taxi down to here, and it's probably going to screw me over because it does every single time I try to taxi. But follow the taxi path they give me, and instead I get, you entered the runway without permission. That doesn't feel like 10 knots already to me.
Dear passengers, our captain has turned on the fasten seatbelt sign. You know the drill. Please stow your hand luggage underneath the seat in front of you or in an overhead compartment. Make sure your seat back and folding trays are in full upright position. Please fasten your seatbelt. If you are positioned near an emergency exit, read carefully the special instructions card located by your seat. Smoking is banned during this flight, including the lavatories. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Thank you, and we'll do our best to make this a wonderful flight.
Now I'm getting into that situation where I can basically, maybe it's the speed, but I cannot steer this plane hardly. It goes into this super sluggish steering mode. That's full left rudder. Well, I mean, I don't have pedals, so. It's almost like it's in time slowed down mode or something. Slow down before we get dinged on taxi speed. Sometimes this thing will turn on a dime, and sometimes it just will not turn hardly. I think the modeling of ground is not very well done in these flight simulators, because and maybe it's experience and skill, I don't know, but when I see real pilots taxiing, they seem to have no trouble just going at a simple speed. And I would have no problem with it being unrealistic, but then you know, you get dinged if you go too fast. Driving on the ground simulator. And in the sim, you get no feedback on accelerations or anything, and your sense of scale is way off. At least I didn't have to cross the runway that I'm supposed to take off on, so I won't get dinged on that. I don't know, maybe I'll pause and skip the boring parts, so I'll be back once we get to the ready for takeoff. Alright, we're back at our hold short point. Maybe? Are we? Oh, we haven't made it there yet. Okay. Gotta creep up on it here. There we go. Okay, final clearance.
Carthage Tower, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er at runway 29er ready for departure IFR to Schoenfeld.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er QNH 1014. Cleared for takeoff runway 29er.
Cleared for takeoff runway 29er, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 29er. Good morning, dear passengers. On behalf of Radiant Airways, we would like to welcome you on board Flight RAW 929 bound for Schoenfeld. My name is Mohammed Medri, your cabin crew coordinator. Estimated flight time to Schoenfeld is 2 hours 4 minutes. To prepare for takeoff, please ensure your seatbelt is fastened tightly. Thank you for your attention.
Should be soon to be a stain in the dirt airways with me flying. At least flying this thing. Alright, and there we are. On runway 29. Alright, back in the cabin. Let's see. Okay, we're ready for our autopilot. Now, I've seen, go ahead and turn this on, and our heading needs to be 289-ish, whatever. Come on. Let's go with 290. Okay, we've got our speed dialed in. Should we put heading select mode on? Let's do that. And I don't know if I need vertical speed mode on. Hopefully with some of this it'll automatically take care of that. And I guess I put, nope, I guess I don't put speed on. Why do I dial it in if I can't? I wonder, is that speed intervention? Is that what that is? Because I could not control the speed the other day. It was doing whatever the FMS said, and I needed it to be faster, and I didn't figure out how to do it. I don't know what these two mean. Okay, arm the auto throttle. Flight directors are both on. We're ready to arm the autopilot. Let's zoom out on this a little bit so we have a little bit more context. Can't really see that anyway. Okay, recenter our view here. And I think we're ready to go. Throttle in it, so we kind of see where we're going here. Now, I'm not going to worry about aborted takeoffs and all that stuff. I'll figure that out later. But I think you're supposed to slowly increase this to 40%, little high, and make sure everything's good. And then we're supposed to, oh, my throttle is really, you see how jerky and sticky it is. So we want to get this up to, why are you going to the left so hard? Positive rate, retracting the gear. Climb out to like 400. That's way too much elevator trim. Okay, we're gonna back off on
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er contact Tunis Mother Center on 125. 15. Good day.
125. 15 Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er.
ease it back on the throttle even more.
Tunis Maghreb Center Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er is passing 1,500 feet climbing FL Tree 50.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er Tunis Maghreb Center QNH 10. 14 radar contact continue.
Flaps up. Ease back on the throttle. all the way up now. A little bit of elevator trim. Compensate. Oh, that's bouncy. Why is my throttle not easing back? Is it because I've got auto throttle on? Okay, but then this... I don't want to exceed 250 here.
Captain, we should slow down below 250 knots until we have passed 10,000 feet.
Why are you doing that? I guess that is speed intervention. It's not slowing down though. Why would it be 253? Come on, man. It's supposed to know not to exceed 250 below 10,000 feet. Now you can go 290 or whatever you want.
Captain, we are at 50% of tank.
Yeah, we'll worry about that later. Fortunately, we have mid-air refueling. Isn't the throttle too high? No, I guess not. 88.5, right at the green. And climb. Okay, what we didn't do is it's not doing the nav following. So let's well, the funny thing is it's not following my heading now either. Do I have, maybe I don't even have autopilot on yet. Just auto throttle. Okay. So let's go. We got it now. Autopilot. That may have been part of my problem. I can't imagine the real autopilot does shit like that though. Like when you enable it, surely it can't just like jerk around. There has to be some kind of smoother transition. We should intersect this now and hopefully LNAV will pick up. I gotta say the plane's pretty easy to fly, but not so easy to do the autopilot stuff. And when you're descending and approaching through pea soup, I kind of like it to help with the approach. The other thing I found, I think, I don't know, they didn't work very well when I tried it, but this is the wing anti-ice, engine anti-ice, window heat. It didn't work very well. I hate that thing up there. Probes, I think, are on auto by default, and I don't know what I need to do with this. Says on. I guess. I didn't deal with the lighting either. So I guess let's go ahead and leave taxi on. I think this should be. I don't know, man. I don't know what runway turnoff is. I think these should be on when you're taking off and landing. Technically. I think you're supposed to dial in the altitudes here. But I don't know. Maybe it's on auto, so we don't have to. What else might we need to do? ILS is dialed in. We did get the flaps all the way up, right? Yeah. I am so bad about leaving some flaps down. Cast messages are, because that was on. Normally they're up here somewhere. No, whatever. Oh, they light up here, right? Okay, course is in. Speed control. Alright, so I think that part's done. They haven't figured out very well yet is how to move this around. Let's see. Weird. Okay. Bright test. Oh, okay, dim bright. So dim is for night. I wish the range knob were down closer to this thing, especially because of that stupid pop-up. TC should be top of climb, right? We're at 26,000 feet right now, so it should be on standard. LNAV, VNAV, LNAV and VNAV. In one speed mode. Radio altimeter. TC, top of climb. What is SC? But there was a TD, top of descent. And I can't go any further out than that. Is there any way to like advance to the next waypoint? This is to set minimums. All these do. I think that's terrain, weather, data turns on and off the nav point data here. change the mode here. Like that would be approach mode. We don't currently have any DME reading, so we wouldn't want to use it or can't use it. That's map and plan. Figured out if this does anything. Inbound and outbound. Inboard and outboard. Oh, okay. I like that up. MFD. Okay. So we can do engine. System info, that's probably this one. Info not available. CR. Swap. I like the bigger map. Selector LC, I wonder what that does. Left or center, center or right. What is it selectoring? Still 21,000 pounds of fuel. These are the landing gear lights. Somewhere there's a speed brake arm light. Maybe like this one, I don't remember. Let's see, control backslash. That one right there. See if we can find out on Google. 737, what does TC and SC mean? Step climb. Position on the map showing where the FMC is calculated for you to initiate a step climb. On VNAV page 2 of 3, you can set
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er contact Rome Center on 131. 1. Good day.
131.
Roger, roger.
1 for Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er. Rome Center Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er is passing FL Tree 45 climbing FL Tree 50.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er Rome Center radar contact, continue to GZO.
GZO. Okay, so that's a step climb, and it says if we look at our something, the VNAV page, page 2 of 3, step, flight level 390. If you don't want to climb, just put 0 in the step size. set the step on the permit page during the pre-flight. In Flight Simulator 2020, it only gives you options for optimum, max, maximum cruise level, etc. So what I can't tell is, and I don't see one, which causes me some concern, is that I think by, it's kind of dark in here, isn't it? Well, let's see. I think by KTG we should have already started a descent. KTG, no. Kubog. So I guess maybe it's after that. And last time I flew into the same airport, a different origin, but same destination. And I went through KTG as well. And it never did a descent. And I think if you go into VNav, you're supposed to see a Start Descent Now button somewhere here, and there is none right now. How do you brighten these things up? Brightness and contrast. Oh, what? There's one. That's that one. Oh, that's working. PFD, MFD, norm, IBD, OBD. One thing I've noticed is this plane does not fly very well in speed accelerated mode. We're going to give it a shot here. So what I like to do for that is bring up the map. This, you can see the time tick by. You can also turn on a little timer clock here. This, however, seems unaffected by sim rate. So watch, here's one notch of sim rate, and you can see the time ticking by faster here. This is going at the same rate. Whatever clock this is, it's ignoring sim rate. I thought was kind of interesting. But I look here to, kind of see. You have a pretty good idea if it's counting seconds or faster or slower. Okay, there's second notch of sim rate. You'll see it already getting kind of reactive. And hopefully we can speed some. Oh, look, we're starting to see some airport here. Cannot zoom out any further than that. What we could do is just bypass a lot of this and go to. Oh, there. Okay, I see it now. Top of descent. But see, this is going to be way too late if it only starts to descend here. There's no way in that tiny little distance you can descend from 35,000 feet or 39,000 if it does the step climb, which I still didn't figure out if it's going to do that or not. Is this automatic? Step point 1054 Zulu. I wonder if we can change it. It said we can just put 0 into it. Let's do that. Nope. Fuel at EDDB with step 12.6, which it thinks we're going to have fuel left when we get there. So 20,000 pounds of fuel. Oh, I think there's a thing you're supposed to do where you turn off the center pump or something. Off. Yeah. No, this is orange and it's leaving fuel in the center tank. I guess that's our reserve, so we'll turn it off and see how it goes. FLT continue. I wonder what that means. FLC CONT. Caution. Nope. FLT. Master caution. Flight controls. One suggestion is the yaw dampener isn't on. Yaw damper on. Okay. And I know these need to be a nav. Flight controls went out, so that's good. Now we know you need to turn on the yaw damping. So we are at 2 notches up on the sim rate right now. Still going to be a very long flight, so I'm going to pause here again. And we're an hour in. I'll come back closer to top of descent, or maybe at step climb, just to see that happen.
Switzerland Center Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er FL Tree 50.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er Switzerland Center radar contact. Continue to Naxal.
Okay, we are real close to our supposed step climb. What was that? I'm going to slow down the sim rate here. Our step climb disappeared. I didn't see it go to 390 yet. So maybe it's just going to ignore that. One thing I was doing in the meantime also is looking at our ILS approach charts here. There's a couple of key numbers you need here in terms of missions. I mean, if you were flying for real, you would need to understand a lot more of this. But one is this frequency here. This is the ILS frequency that we dialed in earlier over here. So 109.5. We can kind of double check that and make sure that makes sense. That we have, you know, we're matching. The other thing we want to know is this altitude. So 3,000 is where we're going to intercept this ILS here. Later on in our
Alpha Whiskey 929er contact, sir.
Going to 126. 225 Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er.
Later on in our descent, we're going to set our
Zurich
altitude.
Center Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er FL tree 50.
Down to
Romeo Alpha
3,000.
Whiskey 929er Zurich Center radar contact. Continue to Naxal.
So that's why we want to know this number, because we need to know at what altitude to intercept the ILS here. Another thing we can check here, we can see our plan. So let's see. So at some point we're going to hit a KTG on here. Sure where those are. Maybe let's see if we can work our way back. Zanum was right here. We're supposed to cross that at 3,000 feet. Above 3,000 feet is what the bar under it means. So we got 3,000 in here. And then prior to that, we've got BWS 12. See that marked on here. So I don't know what that means. Maybe I'm just missing it. But I'm pretty sure that that one should be like out along here somewhere. And I believe these two as well would normally be there. KTG, so there's KLF. Don't see a KTG on here. I'd just be missing it. You can also look here. Yeah, KTG, Geo XLI, and Kubog. ILS 24 left. So these are all things that should be on here and aren't, so give me a little bit of concern. But I saw these in the other entry that I flew, so maybe this is just a difference between reality and what's in the sim or something, or I could just be missing it, I don't know. But I know to check the radio frequency here. The course bearing is this number here. And then these are just different routes in. So like if you were coming from up north here, you'd probably fly one of these. If you're coming from down here, you'd fly one of these. I'm surprised we don't have these markers in the flight plan, because let's see, for one, let's see what this looks like. So we want north up. A little easier to look at this way. There we are. There's KTG, pretty far up from the airport. GOXLI, KUBOG, that gets us in the vicinity of the airport. And then we're gonna fly down here and back up this way. So there's our BSW 12 out here. next page. Zanum here, and then this should be the final runway, I think, and then this is missed approach. And I think if we look at our approach, I think we'll get a transition, probably KLF. That'll probably put us somewhere over here, and then fly up into here. Let's just see if I pick that and then execute. And again, unfortunately, I don't know how to manipulate this in a way that will let us get over to the airport other than zooming out as far as possible. We're still too far away to see what that looks like. If anybody knows, drop me a comment. And we did not step climb, so we'll pause here and we'll come back once we get closer to maybe some descent point. And hopefully we still have a top of descent on here. Maybe 2 of them. Can't quite read that. ED, end of descent, probably. So I'm going to let it fly the descent and we'll see how it goes. We can always circle around and bleed off some more altitude if we need to. Last time I flew in though, it descended way too late. I was like 20,000 feet over the airport. And I had to, bleed off a bunch of altitude. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, we're back. You can see here we're about 80 nautical miles from the airport. Or actually, I think this is 80 nautical miles, so...
Boeing Romeo Alpha, Whiskey Niner, 29er, contact Berlin Center on 125. 8, good day.
Okay, we'll wait for this.
125. 8 for Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29er.
Berlin Center radar contact, continue to Goxley.
But I don't know, I still think this is going to be way, way too late to start our descent. That's my assertion. I don't know why it's so bad at putting this in or calculating this or whatever, but see where we end up here. So, and it looks like there's a disconnect to me here. There indeed is. So what I'm going to do is say, I'm going to click on this KLF and put it in here where the route discontinuity is, and then execute that, and then that's going to fly straight from here to there. We could fly it, or like, I think in reality you'd get vectors from air traffic control. We don't have a good air traffic control, so we'll just fly it directly ourselves. So now it's going to go to here, and then KLF, and then I can't tell what it's going to do from there, but I think come up here, loop around, and get on track for that final approach. I'll be able to zoom in here a little bit more as we get closer. Okay, so let's prep for descent. What I think we want to do is I think we want to dial this down to 3,000. And that's going to be the bottom that it's going to allow it to descend automatically. At 3,000, we should be intercepting the ILS, and then we'll go into approach mode, and that will take us down, I think. Let's see, are we still time sped up? Let's slow down a notch or two. 2, 3, okay. That seems like normal time. Give us a few more minutes here to prep. We already entered our course. Verify that our ILS frequencies are 109.5 on both sides. There's another side here, this one. And I'm holding down Shift and using WSAD keys to move back and forth around the cabin here. And then the mouse to turn, which turns way too fast. It's still very messed up. Okay, what else do I think of? So, descent. We can arm our speed brake. I have that on control \. That was a default binding. It's armed. This light should come on. We, I think, want to go look at that Shift 2 right there. We want to look at VNAV. Now, in theory, there it is. Descend now. Maybe you can't descend now when you have a step scheduled or something. Maybe that's why this option goes away for some people. But we're on page 3 of 3, and that's where descend now is. Maybe I should just click that. We'll get in trouble with air traffic control if we do that. Oh, and this is Q and E go up and down. Float around the cabin and get a better view of things. Let's see, should we? I guess we'll wait. We'll see what happens. I do kind of want to see if it properly descends. So it looks like it's going to descend from here over KLF all the way down around this loop, and then I don't know what it's thinking up in here, or what our. It looks like our final approach should be this way. Are we missing? Is there another disconnect in the legs? KLF X12 X076. No? I don't see one. But it looks like it's going to fly around here the wrong way up the airport, and then I don't know what it's going to do here. We might have to fly out and circle around and come back ourselves. And it looks like this should be the approach, right? What are we? 244, right? That would be about 244 that way. Right, if you think about where 240 is on here, it's going to be down in here somewhere. So it should be that right there. And then this blue should be the missed approach. Hold here. So teardrop, and then hold around KLF. And then release the hold and fly back around this weird way here. I don't know what's going to happen up in here. That marker.
Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er, you are 51 miles southwest. Maintain present heading and altitude. Expect ILS runway 24L approach via Kilo Lima Foxtrot transition. Cleared to Kilo Lima Foxtrot.
Okay.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er, you are 49er miles southwest of Schoenfeld. Contact Berlin Tower on 120. Zero tree when inbound.
Descend and maintain 3,900 feet. Expect ILS runway 24L approach via Kilo Lima Foxtrot transition. Cleared to Kilo Lima Foxtrot, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er. Tower on 120. Zero tree, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er. Berlin Tower, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er, 45 miles southwest inbound ILS runway 24L approach.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er, Berlin Tower. QNH 102 tree, cleared ILS runway 24L approach.
Cleared ILS runway 24L approach, Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929er.
Okay, so we got cleared to descent earlier, so I started that descent. We are now descending. We're holding some speed here. We need to make sure this is below 250 before we hit flight level 100. Or 10,000 feet, but I'm not going to worry about that too much. Okay, this is already quite long, so I'm going to pause here and we'll just watch this descent. I am going to dial it up to 3,900 because that's what they told us we were cleared to descend to, and we'll we'll figure that out later. All right, be back in a few. Okay, back. We're almost to 15,000 feet. I'm not sure what it's going to do right now, just flying. At this descent rate, we're not really slowing down very much. We want to get below 250 before we hit 10,000. So I may start using the speed brake a little bit. We're below 18,000 now, so I can hit comma and update my barometric pressure so we get our current, more accurate barometric altitude. We're at this point in that route, so we would be spiraling around here. I think I might actually take over here. So I think that if we fly that way, it'll be easier to come around here and intercept that ILS path here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Also, I turned the fuel pumps back on our center tank because we were getting kind of low on fuel. So we got a little over 2,000 in all of the tanks. So it shouldn't burn much on the descent, so we'll see how that goes. Our engines are way back. So let's start speed braking here just a little bit. We'll ease that in. We should see our speed come down pretty fast. Now, I heard other people on videos say that the plane will automatically level out at 10,000 feet to slow down. I doubt that's going to happen. We'll see. See what happens here. Hopefully we'll get below 250. Feet. And we could do a manual altitude hold at 10,000. Does the speed brake come back more? Okay, yeah, they're out there. Also, I brought the heads-up display down and turned up the brightness on that. We have that as well. Went up on 10,000 feet. We are not below 50, so I'm going to do altitude hold here. Hopefully that will slow us down and get us is it doing that? I thought I had this down at 240. What? I think that's why I wasn't breaking the speed any faster. Okay, let's go speed brake back here to armed for our landing, and now we can continue on the descent, I guess? Wait, we don't want... Maybe we don't want either one. Let's do our own descent here. I don't know. We should be able to do what, 1800 I think is a good descent speed. Okay. Now I think if you right click on this, it'll go into this center mode. I don't know if that's dial this back to 230. And let's go ahead and put down. Let's dial this back to 210 actually. I'll do the speed brake a little bit again. We have to decide when to come around. Don't want to go too far out and then have to fly way back, but if I turn around too soon, I won't be at 3,900. But I think we're good now. So let's turn this way. We will fly that heading briefly, and then we will try and turn on to final. We need to keep dialing down our speed a little bit. I want to get down to where we can put up some flaps. Call it 160. It's blinking some error here. But I think we can. I think below something like 250, you can actually start putting down flaps. So let's go ahead and do first notch of flaps. Like we want to continue our turn here to intercept, right? Maybe like a 45-degree angle-ish into that. I think we're trying to get down to actually 3,000. We're at 8,000. Go another notch of flaps and descend a little bit faster. And then I think at some point we're going to put LNAV mode on. Maybe we can put it on now. See if it'll carry on to this waypoint. Or intercept it. Let's descend a little faster with another notch of flaps. What we're hoping to see here is that we will catch this path in and be down around 3,000 by the time we get up to that waypoint. To 155. Do our next notch of flaps. We should see the auto throttle helping us out here. Almost down to 6,000, and I think we should make this pretty easily. In approach mode now. Our ILS, we have a distance now, 23 nautical miles, bearing 244. And let's do VNAV for now. Let's see what that can do for us. Not sure if I can put approach on now. I might be able to. So should I just leave it LNAV or should I initiate approach? Still a good ways from the airport, so. 1,000 feet. We are currently descending way faster than I had it descending. pretty sure VNav is flying the plane now. I'm gonna try, well, I think I'm gonna let this should be the ILS offset marker. That should start drifting towards our plane. As soon as it does, I'm gonna hit approach mode. I'm gonna wait until that point. Should be coming right up. Here comes 3,000 feet. Throttles are coming up. Descent rate is getting lower. I think it should hold 3,000 feet until we get to either this waypoint or that waypoint. I think once we go in approach mode, it's going to ignore our altitude. Okay. We need to manually turn. So let's do that. Maybe we'll leave a little bit of an angle in here. Okay, approach mode. Dial that down to 2,000, well, a little below 2,000. I think that purple marker right there is the glide path. So it should come down as we fly level. Right now we're going up slightly. Double check the pressure. Oh, the other thing is your minimums. This is the minimums dial. You can either do radio minimums, and here I've got it dialed in as 99 for radio, or barometric, which is 350. That comes off of that ILS plate here, 24, what was it left? Like 99 or 350 or whatever minimums you want to put in. I don't really know what they do other than it says minimums. I think that's the point at which you want to make a decision. But I don't think it stops the plane from doing anything. Okay, this is coming over now, so I think that means we're starting to get on the ILS here. Hopefully approach has it, or we'll lock in at some point. We're still below the glide slope. See, this has our like full flap stall speed at 123. I don't think that's right. I think this gross weight is possibly too low. One thing you can do is increase the gross weight, and it will update these speeds, and then I think you wouldn't have to use speed intervention. But I'm going to land at about 140 is my plan. We should start, yeah, I think we're making a little bit of a left turn to line up with the runway here. So that's good. I don't know what some of these mean. Should I click that for, I don't know, it doesn't seem to do anything. Okay, we're still holding around 3,000. soon as we start descending again, I'm going to start adding in flaps and gear. So I think I'm good to go gear down at any point. Kind of want my mission steps to give me the gear indication on here. That window does not like to change resolutions. I think the small circle here is where the computer wants it to go, and the big circle is where the plane is currently actually going. So we're kind of porpoising right now, right? Because the autopilots in the sim aren't very good. At least I think. I have to believe the actual autopilots are better. Now, why are we making a sharp right? Are we really going to fly out like that? It took us off approach mode. Why? Why would it do that? I mean, granted, that's what the marker says to do here, but I thought we were on approach. Good Lord. Okay, I'm gonna up the speed here a little bit, I think. Why I'm getting this audio static. That hasn't been happening up until now. Okay, I'm gonna let it fly around here mindlessly for a while, and we'll come back and see what happens when we get back on the approach path. Okay, we're turning on to final now. That static, I think, is getting worse. I think I'm gonna have to reboot my computer or something. Tried restarting the headset. I don't think it's coming from the headset though. I think it's coming from the game. One thing I noticed is it's putting my plane on the chart. That's so cool. Okay, we're turning on to final. As soon as we make this turn, we will, there's the airport. I'm gonna drop our gear and start getting our flaps up to full and slowing the plane back down a little bit. Should slow down pretty quick with flaps and gear down. Approach. Okay, LNAV went off now. Approach is on. There's our glide slope marker. Alright, we are geared down. Watch for 3 greens.
2500.
Want to make sure it doesn't stop at 1900, but it's now on the approach glide slope, so I think it ignores this once it's locked onto that. Alright, we got 3 greens. Going to 15 laps. Now just to confirm, we are on 24 left. So should be the right one, runway, and then the left one. I think it's this one, I'm not sure. minimum set to 350 barometric pressure. We can update our altimeter, make sure it's current. It is. Can zoom in a little bit more. Start to see some airport detail on here. Okay. Dial our speed back. 150 and go to 25 degrees flaps. That I do believe is our runway. I don't know where to check winds on here like I do the other ones.
Boeing
Is that the
Romeo
wind?
Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er wind calm. Clear to land runway 24L.
Nice. Acknowledge.
Clear to land runway 24L Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 29er.
Okay, we got glide slope, localizer. We have DME 5 nautical miles. We're 150. We're gonna go down to 145 and go 30, I think, 30 degrees flaps. Let's just get an external view. Uh-oh, did we still have our speed brake out? I think we might, I don't think you want to land with your speed brake out. So let's put that back to armed. Armed, okay. Should lower our fuel consumption. We're still good on fuel. I think 6,000 pounds was our reserve though, we're almost there. Flying around with spoilers out the whole time is not good. But speed brake's armed now. Alright, we are gonna go full flaps. And we will slow down to 140. This over here must be the right runway and this is the left one. I think these are taxiways. Apparently you're not supposed to land on the taxiways. This is a pretty smooth approach so far. Let's see. Looking good. I think we might have cracked it. Also supposed to see, it won't let me do it. I think something I have somewhere is maybe bound to auto brake, and I also don't know how to do reverse thrust in this. Does it have reverse thrust? So I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to go to settings for a moment and go to controls and our controller and look at this. So this should be toggle reverse thrust, but also toggle spoiler. So that might interfere. I don't want to use it. What else do we have? Let's delete this one. We could maybe use that one. Come on. There we go. We'll give it a shot. We'll see what happens with the... I may pause once I touch down. Well, I don't know. We'll see. It's a long enough runway. I don't think we even need reverse thrust. I wish it wouldn't porpoise so much. Like, pull the throttles back earlier. Like it's just going, you know, almost full throttle, no throttle, full throttle, no throttle. Come on. You can can't see the throttle percentages here. Like it went down to half.
400.
If they're using a PID, they need to tweak their coefficients a bit. Anyway, assuming we make it, I hope this video helps someone else. I'm gonna go review it and take more notes about what I set where. Because this is the smoothest flight I've had so far, although it didn't go perfectly.
200. Minimums.
Really wish it wouldn't porpoise like that. Like, come on, man. Seems like we're too high. And now it's going to try to dive. Okay, I'm going to turn off autopilot.
Sink rate 100.
I think I've got the throttles now. Like, what are you doing? Come on.
50, 40, 30, 20,
I'm having to
10.
pull up as hard as I can. Oh my god, that's all the way back. We just bounced on the runway or something. Okay. Now, what if we hit that key? Do we get reverse? Oh yeah, I think that's reverse thrust, right? I think it's those top levers came out there. So, reverse thrust. Back to 0. Now it's normal thrust. And then reverse thrust.
Whiskey Niner
Normal
29
thrust.
turn next taxiway.
Speed brake off. Oh, yeah, that did both. Okay. So... Okay, that's normal thrust. Are we in some weird slowed down time mode? Because that doesn't look right. I think we are in too slow time mode. 25, 27, 28, 29, 30. That would seem to be normal time. That's weird. So I think we landed in halftime.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29 exit runway when able.
Okay, look. You've given me a parking spot up here, and then you're harassing me to exit when able. Like, you told me where to exit. Okay, I'm gonna sim rate to go get there
Boeing
faster.
Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29 turn next taxiway.
I know. Just doesn't seem like 12 knots, does it? I don't know if it's the scale of the plane or what.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29 turn next taxiway. Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29 contact ground on 121 855.
121. 855 Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29er.
And that static is annoying. So I think I've been at this flight 3-4 hours now. These are not going to be worth it. Oh my goodness.
Berlin ground Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey Niner 29er requests taxi to parking.
Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 929 taxi to Gate Bravo 1 using taxiway Mike 5 Alpha Papa 2 Bravo Victor 1 Charlie Victor Mike Victor 2.
What? Can you say that again?
Taxiing to Gate Bravo 1 via taxiway, Mike 5 Alpha Papa 2 Bravo Victor 1 Charlie Victor Mike Victor 2 Boeing Romeo Alpha Whiskey 9er 2 9er.
Where are my taxi markers? There we go. So it wants me to drive a whole mile over to parking. We're gonna try Alt N and hope we don't blow up the plane. All right, Control Shift E. Wait for engine to shut down. Speed up sim rate. And mission success. How does it say we did? What? Oh, okay. Well, what? I didn't get dinged on. Maybe I did on the way out. Okay, fine. I think I did. I think I remember now. So many hours ago. Well, I'll take an A. Flying these missions has killed my reputation. Hey, we got 15 minutes of flight income out of that. All right. Hope this helps somebody. I'll try and take notes and post them up. Bye.